Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and welcome to another player ratings video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And that was more like it, wasn't it? Chelsea running out 3-0 winners against Club America, goals from Nkunku, Madueke and Marc Guiu. Giving the Blues their first win under Enzo Fernandez and a much improved showing from the games against Wrexham and Celtic. But let's get straight into these ratings then, guys. There were 4 changes from the lineup that started against Celtic. Malo Gusto starting at left back. We had Tosin coming back into the back line. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall getting his first minutes and Raheem Sterling starting down that left-hand side as well. So let's kick things off then with Robert Sanchez, who played 45 minutes. He played the first half. And you know what? He actually did all right. You know, he got more confidence on the ball as the half went on. He made a couple of decent saves. There were a few decent bits of distribution, a few decent bits of passing and whatnot, which you don't normally expect from him. No real complaints on the performance from Robert Sanchez. And maybe the arrival of Philip Jorgenson might force Sanchez to up his levels. But, you know, that first half performance from him, a couple of decent saves, as I said. Not really too much more to add from that. Not really that many complaints about Sanchez, which is not normally the norm, is it, guys, when discussing a Robert Sanchez performance? But yeah, I'd probably just give him a 6 out of 10. He was better than average. I thought he'd done okay. Nothing spectacular, but nothing awful either. Let's move on to the skipper, Reece James then. On that right-hand side, I thought he was good. He looked settled on the right of the back three as well. In possession when he comes into that right centre-back, that looked like it suited him well. And he looked more settled than he has done there. He looked more settled than he has done in the pivot when he inverted into midfield alongside Romeo Lavia. So that bodes well. That's promising. But yeah, it was a good performance from James. I liked what I saw. I'll probably give him the same rating as Robert Sanchez. I'll probably give him a 6 out of 10. It was definitely an improvement and kind of the most comfortable I feel he's looked inverting into the midfield. And perhaps you'd expect him to get more comfortable, more confident the more that he does it. This is the 3rd game that he's tried it now, so he should be getting a little bit more used to it. But yeah, I thought that was the best he's looked in that position and a promising performance. So a 6 out of 10 for Reece James. Let's move on to Tosin Adarabioyo. I thought this was good from Tosin back into the starting lineup. He brings much needed leadership to the back line. He's got good quality on the ball. I think he reads the game well. And this was another impressive performance from Tosin, you know. And I think he probably is going to feature more than people expect him to. I think he'll play a lot more games than many people expect. And this was another good performance, you know, involved in a build-up play, good passing, looks comfortable on the ball. And he seems to be settling into life at Chelsea well and adapting to the Enzo Maresca style of play. So I would probably also give him a 6 as well. I know this is a bit samey at the moment, isn't it? 3 6s on the spin, but that's how I'm seeing it at the moment with these players so far. Let's move on to Benoit Badiashile. This was his best performance of pre-season for me. A much better performance in the game against Celtic, which was absolutely needed. He looks pretty settled. He defended well. And we need the Badiashile of the first 6 months of Chelsea. We don't want the Badiashile that we had last season, constantly making mistakes. We need the Badiashile that we had when he first came to the club. We know the quality that he's got. And if he can get back to that level, then he will have an important role to play for Chelsea. But this was much better from him. Looked a lot more settled, looked more comfortable. And, you know, he made a good contribution, part of his Chelsea side that kept a clean sheet, which is really important given how poor we were defensively last season, given we shipped 6 goals in the first 2 games of the pre-season. So, yeah, I don't think there was much difference really between the likes of him, Tosin and James in terms of level of performance. So I will be going with another 6 out of 10 for Benoit Badiashile on that one. Moving to left back and Malo Gusto. I thought he was superb. Honestly, I love the kid. I think he's absolutely brilliant. A manager's dream. Can play left back, right back, can invert from both sides. Looks comfortable in the midfield. Alongside Lavia today in the pivot, he looks brilliant. He's such an intelligent footballer. He's really useful. He's going to be massive for us this season. He went off late on with a little bit of cramp, nothing to worry about. But the way that he moves the ball, he's just got a little bit of everything. He's got a little bit of everything. And this was a really good performance from him. And, it shows that, he is going to be massive. He could even play at left back for us. This is a possible way to get both him and Reece James into the same team. And I certainly wouldn't be against that. So I'm going to buck the trend of the 6 ratings here and give Malo Gusto a 7 out of 10. I thought he was brilliant. Absolutely superb performance from him. Let's move into midfield now. Romeo Lavia starting his 3rd game on the spin, I think. Great to see him getting some much needed fitness in the legs, much needed minutes under his belt after such a long absence. And I tell you what, round of applause for Romeo. What a fantastic performance. He was confident, oozing class, just all round. It was great all round. Some brilliant passes, great on the turn. His best performance of pre-season so far. Won a penalty after some great work, literally inside the first 2 minutes. What I love about him is that his first thought is to always look forward, to always move the ball forward. And, you could tell from his season at Southampton the quality that he has. And this guy is going to be massive for us this season. Going to be a huge transformation in the midfield with him there. I'm not expecting him to start every week, but, to have the option of using Lavia, we're going to need him a lot this season with the games that we've got. Brilliant performance from him. And that was him operating at his best. And I'm so happy for him because he had a real difficult time last season. He's a quality operator. And that is why we paid the money for him, for performances like that. And so let's hope he can stay fit and let's hope we can see more of those moving forward. But yeah, that's a solid 8 out of 10 for Romeo Lavia. Really impressive performance from him. Let's move on to the star man, Christopher Nkunku. 3 goals in 3 pre-season games. A fantastic, dare I say it, Eden Hazard-esque run to win the second penalty. He looks sharp. He looks on it. He's at the races. Looks fit. This is going to be a big season for him. He is a real difference maker, a real game changer. Maresca said that he loves him. He's great for this system. Can play as a 9. Can play in the pocket. Can play off the wings. It's interesting that he's been deployed mainly as one of the advanced number 8s. So I don't know if we're going to see that in the Premier League or not, but his versatility for this system is a huge plus. And it's just great to see him playing football, great to see him performing to a high level because he is genuinely one of the only players at Chelsea with world-class ability. There's not many of them, but he is absolutely one of those. And I would give him an 8 out of 10 as well for Christopher Nkunku. Moving on to Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. A brilliant 45 minutes from him. A promising start. Look, obviously it was clear he wasn't quite fit yet. Not that many minutes under his belt. But I tell you what, it really helps that he knows the Maresca system inside out. He looks a smart player, intelligent. Great assist from Marc Guiu. He was on the end of a few cutbacks. He could have easily scored 2 or 3 goals himself. And he's going to be a really useful player for us. And I think he's actually a smart pickup, and he's going to surprise a lot of people. I'm telling you guys, he will surprise a lot of people. I don't think people realise quite how good Dewsbury-Hall is. Some really clever passes. He's not afraid to shoot. He's got a creative spark. He's got an eye for goal. A promising start from Dewsbury-Hall. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. I'll probably give him a 7 out of 10 for that performance. Let's move into the front line now. Let's move on to Noni Madueke. He seems to divide opinion. I like Madueke. I think there's something about him. He's direct. He takes players on. He tries. He looks to make things happen. And I thought overall it was a bright performance from him. He was nice and direct at points, but as is the case with a lot of players, his end product is still massively lacking. I think he'll get there. He does just need time, but that's why I feel missing out on Elise was such a big blow, because we really need some competition for him in that right wing spot. I don't look at Cole Palmer as playing as a right winger in this Maresca system, considering he's not a touchline player like Maresca likes to use in the system. So I still think maybe we do need to look for another right-sided player to provide some competition for Madueke. I like him. Yes, he can frustrate at times. Yes, his end product's poor, but he looks to make things happen. And he could have had an assist, brilliantly set Broja up. And if it wasn't for a shit finish from him, it would have been an assist from Madueke. So look, I like what I saw from him. He just needs to improve that end product. And maybe Chelsea do need to go in, look for a quality operator on the right-hand side to provide a little bit of competition for him. But I thought it was bright. I'd give him a 6.5 to that. I liked what I saw. Let's move on to Marc Guiu now then, guys. Third start in a row. Really impressive. You know, a good goal. Probably would have gone down as an own goal in a competitive game, but it doesn't matter. We take those. You know, and he deserved that for his efforts in pre-season so far. You know, he's constantly chasing down loose balls. He makes a nuisance of himself. He's a physical presence. He looks intelligent. He's had a good upbringing, obviously education at La Masia. And he looks like a useful player. And right now, I think he will be sticking around the first team squad next season. I think he can absolutely make a contribution, whether it's off the bench in the Premier League, whether it's in the Cups or the Conference League. I really like what I've seen from him. And he looks like a smart piece of business on the evidence we've seen so far. So I'd also give Guiu a 7 out of 10. Let's move on to Raheem Sterling, getting a start after impressing against Celtic. Similar to Madueke, some bright spells here and there. Made some nice runs down that left-hand side, and he was unlucky not to get an assist for Dewsbury-Hall in the second half. But again, like with Madueke, his end product is lacking. You know, has some excellent bits, but then also sprinkles in a few shit bits. So if he can get on top of his end product, which is a big ask, it's never been particularly great, Sterling's end product, then maybe he can be useful to make a contribution this season. But yeah, some bright moments, but again, just end product. Really, when it counts, it just wasn't there. So I would give Sterling a 6 out of 10. Let's move on to some of the subs. And I'm not going to rate all the subs because not a lot of them played enough minutes, but I will rate 2 of them who did play 45 minutes. And we saw Philip Jorgenson for the first time, you know, only arrived in the States on Monday. He was unveiled late on Tuesday as a Chelsea player. I don't really think he had that much to do overall. It's hard to judge him. You know, I'd probably just give him a 6 out, maybe a 5, maybe a 5.5 or something out of 10. For Jorgenson, didn't really have much to do. And I'm keen to see him start against City on Saturday so we can get a bit more of a better idea about him. But yeah, there really wasn't an awful lot for Philip Jorgenson to do in this game. Nice to see him get some minutes. Nice to see him bedding into the lineup already. And it just goes to show that I think Jorgenson, if he doesn't start the first game against City, it won't be long until he's in the starting lineup. Because whatever people say, he has absolutely been signed to be the first choice keeper. It's just a case of when he gets put in. So I give him a 5.5 out of 10 for that second half performance, just purely based on the fact that he didn't really have very much to do at all. So, but nice to see another new signing. And then finally, to round it out, Enzo Fernandez back in the Chelsea team. I thought he did okay. It's hard to judge him. He's obviously a little bit behind physically in terms of preparations. He looked a little bit slow, which is to be expected. He's getting into the groove of things, but he's one of the only Chelsea players who can, you know, who's got that range of passing. You know, that range of passing, short, long, all sorts. You know, he's a really good player. Obviously, he was booed from the Club America fans when his name was read out, but and that's to be expected. But I thought he did well. But yeah, there's room for improvement, and he's going to get up. He's going to get himself up to speed. Of course, he is. This was his first minutes of pre-season. I don't think we should have been expecting anything outrageous from him. And yeah, he was a bit slow, but I probably give him a 5.5 out of 10 as well, just because he was a little bit slow, didn't offer an awful lot. So yeah, more to come from him. So let's wait and see on that front. But guys, that rounds out the player ratings video. Thank you for tuning in. As always, people, make sure you smash the likes, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I'll catch you again in the next player ratings show after the Man City game. Up the Chelsea, and peace